This is Justin Scoop for Monday, October 20th, 2025. Let's look at SPX. So we had some strength come in today. We ended up tagging right at this uptrend line that we've been kind of tracking. We've been below. We pushed through it and came back down, closing below the dotted line. Today we actually closed above the dotted line and really just tagged the this uptrend line, closing below it. So, man, we're really close to an all-time high again. It would not be surprising whatsoever if we push to an all-time high tomorrow. So we gapped up nicely from Friday to today. If we have that size of a gap again tomorrow, we're pretty much going to be right at an all-time high. So would not be surprising if that happens. But I mean, could we actually make another all-time high after this massive bear candle? I guess we're setting up for it. So if we do have any sort of a pullback or a rollover now, I mean, this is really where the bears need to come in and push this thing lower. Um, I thought Thursday's candle was going to be kind of looking like a bookend if it pushed lower, but it didn't, stayed inside. Um, and then today is really looking like it's going to break out. So one thing that I was kind of drawing in was something kind of like that, a little steeper here, I guess, something like that, which meant either this or that the pre-market after hours Thursday to Friday was more of like a false breakdown that recovered. Could today's candle be a false breakout that I had mentioned back on Friday, I think? So if we end up gapping down and doing like a big bear candle and getting back into this range, then yeah, I would think this would be a false breakdown and this would be a false breakout of this triangle. And then we should have another inside day, and then we should really get going, whichever way we're going to go. Um, I think I drew something like that on Friday. So let's keep moving into the 3 minute here. So here's the strength that we came in with. We gapped up and then we just pushed up. Um, yeah, we just kept pushing straight up. It's crazy. It just kind of curved on up, and then you had a bigger S curve here, and then mostly sideways, but then flattened to the close. So there weren't a lot of great places for a pullback and like to see a bounce. There was a little bit of some just choppiness here, kind of going a little bit sideways to down. Um, were you buying at this level? I don't know. Were you buying at that same level over here? Possibly, and just letting that ride higher. One thing that I noticed, and I'm going to zoom back out to show the option. Let's see. Okay. So I've got this set on. It is the 6750 call. And this price was like right around one at open and then kind of bounced around one and then came into one again. And then we're going to look at that dollar price. Okay. So that was right here. And that was about right here. And I think a little bit here. And then over here, something like that. Actually, I don't think it was that early. I think it was actually mainly here and here. And then we crossed through the dollar price here, and then we held at it here. And so you can see, obviously, as, as the days going on, the dollar price of that option just keeps on moving up. Um, it's way down here at 66.90, and then it moves up to 67.10 really quickly, and then up to 67.15. Within minutes, it seems like every 20, 30 minutes, it's moved up quite a bit more. And this actually held pretty well here. We were in that dollar range for quite a while, right in here. Um, so we'd moved up so much that we weren't, and then we were holding this price. It's like the market makers didn't want to give up a bunch of this and let this sink down, anticipating that it was going to rally again up into kind of similar highs that had been in here, and then all of this kind of similar high in that option. So one thing I really noticed with this is when we retested. So we're going to talk about this, where we retested into a dollar. We held that dollar price right up in here. And when this is happening, the 67.35 put actually was holding right at a dollar. So the next option that was, you know, playing into that dollar price was this one. And then that had a really nice move into three. So you could have bought it at a dollar, flipped it out at three for a really nice gain, really nice triple of that option in a very short amount of time as it just kind of started to roll over. Looked like it could have kept going, didn't. Just basically came back into this same low, which is right where it closed. Um, but I just thought it was really interesting because this is something that I've looked at quite a bit with, just talking about how options move. So here's kind of giving more of where this ended up going. Anytime we can play back into, a certain level, that dollar price here, what that's a short-term retest, then here's the bigger retest. This is kind of, that was a really bad line. This is really kind of relative high, slightly lower highs. The main piece here was retesting, this kind of multi-top thing, kind of a double top sort of retest, breakdown retest into the dollar price that it had been kind of the low. That was a great opportunity to go and short it. And so I was actually shorting this with this option, got in right around the dollar price, and then I was looking for a move closer to five back up into this, and it just didn't get there. So I had been tight my stop as it went, and I got stopped about 2.5. Um, so trailed out for a nice little gain there. And then good thing because it just came down to a dollar and then just sunk right into the close. Um, Actually, I ended up closing right at the money. So those are the ones you want to be really careful and make sure you're exiting because yeah, it actually closed just out of the money according to, well, actually, according to the 3 minute, the close was 67.34.77, which means it was 23 cents in the money. The close over here shows 67.35.13, showing it would be this option was 13 cents out of the money. So just that the fact there's a bit of a discrepancy between the 3 minute where this candle closed and the daily where this candle closed, it's like you just want to be out of those. Just make sure you're out. But anyway, just a way that the calls and the puts kind of came together and set up a really nice options trade. And so, yeah, hope this helps. This is Justin. Thanks.